I should also say that the news yesterday was that this object came closest to the sun, and it received a huge amount of heat from the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And the latest report indicates that it became extremely bright, much more than expected for familiar comets. This morning, we have a report that the object got much brighter than expected, and moreover, the color of the object is blue, bluer than the sun. And that's very surprising, because usually when there is dust around an object, it should make it red.
The interstellar visitor designated 3I Atlas, the third confirmed object from beyond our solar system, was already one of the most mysterious bodies ever observed. But its latest behavior has transformed intrigue into disbelief. After months of tracking, astronomers detected something that should have been impossible. The object had reversed its trajectory, abruptly, inexplicably, without any visible force or physical mechanism that could account for it. From that moment, 3I Atlas ceased to be just an anomaly. It became a riddle that defied every known law of celestial mechanics. Its movement through the solar system, once merely peculiar, now stood as a source of deep confusion and a quiet, growing unease within NASA and across the scientific world. When 3I Atlas was first detected, its hyperbolic path marked it instantly as an interstellar traveler. Like its predecessors, 1 Oumuamua and 2 I Borisov, it entered the solar system at a speed far too high to be captured by the sun's gravity. Telescopes worldwide locked onto it, a faint, fast-moving speck drifting across the stars. Early analyses suggested an elongated, tumbling body, reflecting sunlight with a dim, uneven shimmer. Nothing seemed particularly alarming until the deviations began. Weeks into observation, subtle anomalies appeared in its course. Tiny shifts in acceleration hinted that an unseen force might be acting upon it. Initially, these irregularities were dismissed as measurement errors, or perhaps mild outgassing, like a comet venting frozen volatiles as it warmed near the sun. But 3I Atlas was cold, inert, no dust halo, no vaporous plume, nothing. As it passed through the inner solar system, its motion grew stranger still. Instruments from NASA's Deep Space Network recorded faint yet measurable velocity shifts, oscillations that didn't correspond with any gravitational influence. The pattern was rhythmic, as if 3I Atlas were adjusting its course deliberately. But nothing in physics could explain a natural object behaving as if it were steering itself. By the time it crossed Mars' orbit, the teams at Jet Propulsion Laboratory had ruled out every conventional cause. Solar radiation pressure was far too weak. No magnetic or solar wind phenomena could induce such deliberate-seeming motion. Then came the moment that broke every model, the reversal. Beyond Jupiter's orbit, 3I Atlas began to slow. Not randomly, not from drag, but in a controlled, deliberate way. Observatories in Chile and Hawaii confirmed what seemed unthinkable. The object's path relative to background stars had changed direction. Within weeks, its projected escape trajectory curved inward. Instead of fleeing into interstellar space, 3I Atlas was accelerating back toward the sun. The impossible had happened. NASA immediately re-examined every byte of data. Gravitational capture was ruled out. No known body, not even Jupiter, could reverse an object moving at such speed. A sensor error was eliminated when independent observatories confirmed the data using both radar and optical tracking. The reversal was real. Whatever was propelling 3I Atlas had no visible exhaust, no radiation signature, no detectable energy emission. Inside mission control, the mood shifted from fascination to dread. The implications were staggering. If 3I Atlas had truly changed its course, the force responsible was not natural. It suggested either an internal mechanism or the influence of something outside our understanding. The word artificial began to surface, not in official reports, but in hushed conversations among scientists who could find no other explanation. As it turned back toward the sun, observatories focused every available instrument on it. Spectroscopic analyses sought chemical traces, heat, ion emissions, anything that could imply propulsion. But 3I Atlas remained dark and silent, reflecting faint light with a spectrum unlike any known asteroid or comet. Its surface appeared metallic, but its reflective ratios matched no alloy on record. There was no heat, no gas, no radiation. Nothing that could explain what had just occurred. Theoretical physicists began to speculate in increasingly daring terms. Some proposed exotic matter interacting with gravity in ways not yet understood. Others imagined quantum effects or an unknown kind of cosmic drag. A few even suggested that 3I Atlas might not be a single body, but a fragment of something larger, reacting to distant signals. None of it fully fit the data. Each theory was an attempt to explain the impossible. Even the timing of the reversal seemed deliberate. It happened just as the object crossed the heliopause, the boundary where the solar wind meets interstellar space. Perhaps it responded to the sudden change in plasma density or to magnetic thresholds at that invisible border. Whatever the trigger, it behaved as though it recognized the transition. When NASA redirected the New Horizons probe for long-distance imaging, the data confirmed it. 3I Atlas was accelerating steadily, smoothly. Not a single burst of thrust, but a sustained push, precisely the kind of profile expected from an ion engine. Yet there was no sign of energy output. The electromagnetic silence remained absolute. Months passed. 3I Atlas continued its reverse course, retracing its path through the solar system almost exactly, as though following a preordained map. The symmetry of its motion was uncanny, too perfect to be random. Within NASA, long nights turned into philosophical debates. Every known force had failed to explain it, and still, 3I Atlas moved with purpose. Teams across NASA, ESA, JAXA, and CNSA compared data, seeking flaws in measurement. None were found. The reversal remained a confirmed fact, one of the most inexplicable astronomical events in recorded history. Some scientists likened it to dark matter or dark energy, unseen forces shaping the universe on vast scales, now echoing in miniature within our solar system. If the object had changed course due to an external force, what was it? The solar wind lacked power. Magnetic events couldn't push a multi-hundred-meter body. No unseen gravity could produce such a sharp inversion. Simulations kept returning the same conclusion. The object had generated thrust. That realization sparked something deeper. If 3I Atlas was self-propelled, it wasn't a natural relic. It was a machine, or at least something acting like one. Perhaps a probe, perhaps debris of a long-extinct civilization, still following forgotten commands. Humanity had searched for extraterrestrial signals for decades. But what if the evidence wasn't in radio waves or megastructures? What if it was in motion? Some theorists suggested that 3I Atlas interacted directly with the curvature of space-time itself, gliding along gradients invisible to us. Maybe it wasn't pushing against space. It was falling through it in ways our physics couldn't yet describe. That idea was speculative, even poetic, but it fit the data as well as anything else. Across the scientific community, curiosity wrestled with dread. 3I Atlas seemed to mock our certainty. Space was supposed to be predictable, its mechanics exact. Yet here was an object rewriting those rules in real time. As it moved inward again, sunlight glinted off its surface in flickering intervals, perhaps from rotation. But the pattern of reflected light was oddly consistent, almost rhythmic, like a pulse. Some speculated it might be geometric, a shape engineered rather than random. Others went further, noting that the sequence of brightness changes repeated with eerie precision, like a signal. The idea was dismissed publicly, but the unease lingered. If an object could reverse direction without expelling energy, then our understanding of motion itself was incomplete. It meant the universe might allow for hidden gradients or invisible fields capable of influencing movement, forces we had yet to map. The implications reached beyond astronomy. They touched the very foundation of physics. Within NASA, tension deepened. Equations once thought sacred began to fracture under scrutiny. 3I Atlas wasn't just an observational puzzle. It was a philosophical one, a mirror reflecting humanity's limits. It reminded scientists that even now, surrounded by precision instruments and computational power, we could still stand before something truly unknown. The reversal was more than an event. It was a revelation. It forced us to accept that not everything in the cosmos can be dissected by formula. That mystery itself still has a place among the stars. The event triggered a surge in interstellar surveillance. Telescopes once focused on exoplanets were retasked to track faint, fast-moving objects. Artificial intelligence systems learned to recognize trajectory anomalies, hunting for others like 3I Atlas. None appeared. The phenomenon remained unique. Some proposed that the object hadn't simply turned around, but shifted along another dimension, one invisible to three-dimensional space. Perhaps the reversal we witnessed was merely the projection of a deeper motion through space-time. The idea bordered on science fiction, yet within its strangeness lay the only sense that could be made of the data. Meanwhile, the public was captivated. The story spread worldwide, a silent traveler from another star, turning back toward the sun. To some, it was proof of intelligent design. To others, a symbol of cosmic mystery. For many, it was a reminder of how little control humanity truly has over the vastness beyond our atmosphere. NASA maintained a careful neutrality. The event was real, the cause unknown. Behind closed doors, however, astronomers scoured every byte of telemetry. Observatories in Australia, Chile, and orbit coordinated nonstop. Each flicker, each motion was cataloged, plotted, analyzed. Patterns began to emerge. The acceleration curve was too smooth, too deliberate. Random perturbations didn't behave this way. Whether intentional or mechanical, 3I Atlas moved with purpose. As it neared Saturn's orbit once more, new questions arose. Was it returning for study? Was a reversal part of a programmed cycle? Or was it responding to something within our system, something we hadn't yet perceived? Scientists cautioned against anthropomorphism, but logic offered no alternatives. If all natural explanations failed, only control remained. Through every observation, one detail stayed constant. 3I Atlas made no sound, emitted no energy, left no trail. Only its path changed, a clean, silent curve through the void, bending where it should not bend. The simplicity of that fact was almost unbearable. Motion itself had become the message. New theories emerged of inertia manipulation, of vacuum energy harnessed for propulsion. If true, such principles could rewrite the future of travel, of energy, of physics itself. But for now, these ideas lived only as conjecture, shadows cast by an object that refused to be understood. Among astronomers, awe began to outweigh fear. 3I Atlas was more than an anomaly. It was a revelation of the unknown, a whisper from the universe reminding us that knowledge has edges, and beyond them lies wonder. Even as technology advanced, the cosmos had found a new way to humble us. Papers poured into journals, filled with equations and theories that failed to reach the heart of the mystery. Some invoked new physics, others reshaped old ones. None explained why 3I Atlas turned back. As it continued inward, its speed and trajectory remained steady. It would soon cross the asteroid belt again, perhaps near enough to Mars for a closer look. There were discussions, ambitious, desperate, about launching an intercept mission. But even our fastest ships would arrive years too late. And so, humanity could only watch. In the silence of space, 3I Atlas moved, present yet unreachable, visible yet unknowable. Its reversal carried implications that stretched beyond astronomy. If an object could violate the conservation of motion, perhaps space itself wasn't uniform. Perhaps unseen gradients shaped reality in ways we had never imagined. 3I Atlas became a monument to the unknown, a dark silhouette against the fragile certainty of human understanding. Even in an age of satellites and deep space probes, the cosmos had reminded us of its deepest truth. It still holds secrets that render science silent, leaving only awe in their wake. The reversal of 3I Atlas was not merely a mechanical anomaly. It was a moment of revelation, a quiet, cosmic reminder that the universe still speaks in mysteries far beyond our reach.